Hi, this is Rachel Zufa, and I'm very happy to be doing this book talk with you today. I am going to be featuring one book. It is a contemporary fiction book, and I am featuring it for purely selfish reasons. I come from Santa Ana, California, and so does this author. And he currently lives there and is an educator in the public school district. So, Ernesto Cisneros, this is why you get your very own book talk, in addition to my loving your book. So, here we go. Efrén Divided by Ernesto Cisneros. This book is appropriate for middle grade all the way up. I clearly loved it. So, take a look at the cover, and you will clearly see why he is divided. He is walking along the sidewalk, and you can see that there is a woman in the shadows, yes, that is being cast by the sun, who is holding his hands. And this is his mother. And he is torn. And we see why he is torn fairly quickly in the book. For Efrén, while a legally documented citizen of the United States, his mother is not. And before people who may have very strong feelings regarding immigration turn off this book review or give it a thumbs down, and you're welcome to do that, I do want to say that regardless of your feelings on the issue, I'm not here to preach on that. I will say what I loved about this book is it gives you an idea of the feelings involved. Because regardless of what somebody might feel, Efrén himself was born here, and now he is in the situation where his parents, who do not have the proper documents, live in this country. And I think it's really valuable to be able to gain insights about what it feels like to be in that sort of position. So, to start it off, this does take place in Southern California. It is in an unnamed city, but I will tell you, very much felt like my hometown. A very loving and sharing community that is very diverse. And one of the things that I really truly loved is that feeling of graciousness and caring that comes across in this book when it comes to the people that live where Efrén lives. So what happens is he calls his mother. Um, well, first of all, his mother is Ama, which is a term of endearment. And for those of you who are concerned that you may not be able to follow along because there is a mixture of Spanish and English, there is a glossary in the back for all the words that are used and all the sentences that are used in Spanish. But I feel that Cisneros does a very good job of letting you figure this out in context. I had no problems following along, and in fact didn't know there was a glossary until I was done with the book. So he has his ama, his mother, and his appa, his father. And he also has the demon twins. His mother and father call them the gremlins in Spanish, and they get into everything. They're typical children, and so. I don't know how his mother does it, and he doesn't either, because she makes like she's like the kind of well she's like a wonderful mother. Yes, she like seems to make everything work in the home, and it's like where there is nothing, she makes something. It very much reminds me of my own mother, where even if we didn't have much money, somehow she made like this fantastic meal. And in fact, a lot of the people in the neighborhood ask his ama for recipes. And one of their favorite things that she makes are sopes. And if you've never had a sope, they are delicious. But they use like masa, like if you've ever had like a tamale, they use it as a base, and then there's beans, and you just pile on more deliciousness, like cheese and sauce, like if you went green or red, like salsa, like if you they ask you like for enchiladas or things like that, and so that's one of their favorite things that they love to eat. It is his favorite, and so he has a pun for her. Instead of calling her superwoman, he calls her superwoman, and super means super, so she is superwoman, for she makes everything come together in life, and what ends up happening is one day she is going for a job, and there is a raid, okay, by ICE, and she is deported. And I think even though they already realize how much she keeps this family together, to suddenly know that have your mother just torn, a parent torn from you, is something that he doesn't they don't know how to handle. His father already works very long hours. They may not have much physically, but what they have in love is tremendous, and you feel that in this book, the tremendous amount of love, not just within their family, but within this community. And so now Efrén is trying, as you can see, he's when I'm going to see my ama, my superwoman. Now he has to try to become himself a superman, right? He has to help his father, who is now taking on extra money because he's trying to find a way to bring their mother home. And he is trying to wrangle the twins, who don't always want to get dressed, who are asking, where is Amma? Where's Amma? Where is she? And much of this is kept hidden because this is not something that you talk about. Okay, this is something that is kept secret. And other people, like when he drops off the twins for school, like, where's your mother? Why are you doing this? And the conflicts that come into play, and how this 12-year-old must have to grow up. And before his mother, this happened, he was with his best friend, and he was running for president, and he was considering running for president, and all the trivial things that you're a kid and you do when you're like in middle school and high school, like, seem to fall by the wayside. And it talks about the bigger issues of what it means to be family, and what it is that is important. And Efrén is not just having to deal with this. He's also having to deal with just the regular racism that he faces, even within this community that does feel so special, because even within such a community, it exists. That idea of automatic assumption, you should go home. He is a legal citizen, and yet he starts witnessing things like, you should be deported. That's aimed at him. And it does tackle in a very gentle way, because it could be very much in your face, but I feel like Cisneros does this in a very gentle way. The idea of the assumptions and the stereotypes that people make when it comes to individuals because of how they look, who they are, how they speak. And I feel that it is an important and timely book for us to look at, and for us to also confront our own biases of what we think. Because someone speaks in Spanish, does this mean they are not an American citizen? No. In fact, the community I grew up in, Santa Ana, I was always very, very jealous. My sister and I have spoken of this, because we were not bilingual. The majority of people that were our friends are bilingual. And I don't mean just Spanish. I mean Vietnamese, Cambodian, Chinese, just a wealth of language, and American citizens. And so I think that there's a process of being able to check what we consider, and of course I was lucky to grow up in a community that is filled with richness of different cultures, but depending on where we are, and what is it that we automatically assume about what it means to be American. And I think Efrén gets to see a taste of this when this happens to his ama, his superwoman. And it is a book, I think, that is very timely, because people talk about the idea of immigration, and what is illegal immigration versus legal immigration, and what does this do to families, and what does it do to our children. Definitely something that I think is a great conversation starter for families. It's a great book to read together. I also think it's just a great book for you to be able to read on your own, and to consider for yourself what are your own ideas about in different individuals. Mr. Cisneros, loved your book. Made me feel about my home. It's a great book too, about what it means to be a community and to come together. So definitely recommend Efrén Divided. Oh, I want to see more. I want to see more. And I especially love books that incorporate other languages, and allow you to see it in context, because to me, it opens my world more. So please pick this up. No matter what you may personally feel about the topic, we are all human. And I think it's wonderful to be able to experience what it may feel like to be in someone else's situations, because the the best that it can do is at least open your mind to another feeling, even if it doesn't change your mind. So, thank you very much for listening. Hope you stay healthy. Until then, happy reading.